Hi, how you doing? I'm Tim Carter, and this is Ask the Builder. And let me turn off my cell phone. I've been so busy that I don't want to get bothered here. I don't want. I've had a couple of spam calls come in lately. Um, anyway, sorry about this. I just I'm a little behind right now because I just hung up the phone with a friend of mine out in California, and I got a little agitated because I'll just hey, how you doing, Lorraine? I One of the companies my wife and I own is Stain Solver. You've seen me promote it, and this I'm just going to call it this asshat disbarred attorney in California. To make a living, he goes out and files lawsuits against websites that are non-ADA compliant. The American Disabilities Act. And that's a federal law, and it's nowhere in the law does it say anything about websites. and the US district courts are split on whether or not websites have to comply. But if you do a Google search on ADA lawsuits, you'll see that huge companies like Taco Bell, I mean, big companies have been sued, and they're just all shakedowns. It's a shakedown. And anyway, I've got a big call with a California attorney on Monday, and it's just I'll probably talk about it a little bit on Monday. But in the meantime, there were a few minor issues with the website. Here's what happens. Here's the actual. I'll share this. It's kind of funny. So here's an actual lawsuit if you've never seen one. It's the first time I've ever been sued. And there are all these pages in here, all these things, all these pages right here, item after item, 1 through 50, starting right here, claiming all the things that were wrong, or all the things where this woman, I'm not going to say her name, where she claimed that she was harmed. Well, 95% of them don't even apply. So that and all of those pages, they've been copied on a copying machine so many times, the clarity is just so poor. So it's just that it's a shakedown. It's just horrible. Hey, Steve, how you doing? I am well. I just was a little agitated about this matter with Stain Solver, and it's just. But I'll have answers on Monday afternoon. It's a 1:30 p.m. phone call, and to show you how backed up the court system is. The biggest thing that I'm wondering about is how is it that a California court has jurisdiction in this matter when Stain Solver is a Delaware corporation, and Stain Solver is based in New Hampshire, and this quote unquote woman who supposedly went to the Stain Solver website and couldn't navigate it right because it hurt her feelings. It's all, first of all, it's all bogus. There is no one ever went there. Anyway, how come she didn't come to New Hampshire to file the lawsuit? So that's the first thing we're going to find out. In other words, is it legal for a California person to, because I have no nexus in California. That's what's the important question is. And if you don't know anything about law, I happen to know a little bit about law. I'm not an attorney, but I've done expert witness work for about 25 years. In fact, my last, not to name drop, but I do international work. My last case that I was on, I was crawling on the roof of the Brazilian ambassador's house on the island of Antigua in the Caribbean. All right. So I deal with some pretty high-powered attorneys and stuff. Anyway, nexus means that you have a physical location. So if there was a Stain Solver store in California, or if there was a Stain Solver distributor, I would have nexus there. Well, guess what? There's no nexus in California. Yeah. Well, we don't even know if this woman exists. That's the thing. I'll after the live stream, I'm going to email you her name, And wait till you look up this woman's name on Google. You'll see right away all these companies that she sued, you know. and like I said, the attorney behind it all, he was disbarred. He's not allowed to practice law anymore because he stole all this money from his clients. Anyway, there may be a road trip out to California in June of 2023, because you know what? Nothing would make me happier than showing up in a courtroom. And I would defend myself, all right? Because this is a slam. Yeah, you're right, Lorraine. What happened is she filed the case in California back in December, right after Christmas. So they filed a lawsuit, and that's the best way to shake you down. In other words, because once the lawsuit's filed, you as the defendant, you need to file an answer within 30 days of being served. So anyway, no, there's no need to write to the California Bar Association, because this quote person, here's the scam. If you look at the plaintiff's name is well, I'm not going to tell you her name, but it says here, I'll read this. It says the name, address, and telephone number of the plaintiff's attorney, that plaintiff is her, or plaintiff without an attorney is blank blank, that's the name, comma, in pro per. Those are 3 words. That's a legal phraseology that means this woman is doing everything herself. Are you kidding me? A woman who's not an attorney knows how to do all this? You think I was born flipping yesterday? It's all right. Let's switch gears. Because I'll just get too riled up. Oh my gosh. Anyway, what's new? So, oh my gosh. Anyway, we've got people watching. I'm sorry, my hair is a little fluffy today. I can't get it to go down. If you're watching and you've got a question about your home, just enter it in the chat. If you're watching and you don't have a YouTube account, then you can't chat. And if you want to chat me a question, you need to go get a YouTube account, and they're free, and you don't have to upload a video, and you're not going to get emailed, and you're not going to get spammed. I'm just trying to tell you, if you want to ask me a question, you've got to have a YouTube account. Hey, well, how you doing? Oh, I'm glad you liked my letter to the editor. I actually went to the grocery today and got a hard copy of the Weirdest Times with that, and I'll probably save that for my kids. They'll think that dumbass old man. My son and I are not. My son and I are politically polarized. Actually, my youngest daughter, and I are too, and I love her to death. My oldest daughter, probably halfway. Oh well. We don't talk about it. Jason, welcome to the party, man. Everybody's here today. I'm trying to ratchet myself down about getting upset about this lawsuit. That's not doing anybody any good. Here's what you need to know. The average person would just be terrified of a lawsuit because all they can see is money, like, going out the window. And if you ever get sued, I actually have a column. Let me go get it, because this is really important. It's really worthwhile for me to be. I wish Lorene was here, Lorene, because you could talk intelligently while typing and doing all this. I'm a man. We can't multitask. We suck at it. We're horrible. I'm trying to find. Here we go. This is the column I was looking for. I want to put this in the chat stream. If you ever are going to get sued, you need to read this column. If you ever get sued, you need to read this column, because it really, I kind of go over the whole process, because I've been involved in many lawsuits as an expert witness. So I just know the whole mechanism. I had a legal issue back 25 years ago where I had it was a trademark dispute about Ask the Builder, and I won. But what happened? It was really horrible. The attorney that I hired. It's a really long story, but they completely goofed everything up. I caught them. I had the proof, and what happened is they ended up. The law firm had to pay all the money to the guy out in California who had filed the trademark, even though it was really ours, to satisfy everything. And if I would have known a little bit more, if I would have known then what I know now, I would have also gotten back from that attorney all the money I had spent, which was a huge hardship. I spent 5 figures with that attorney, low 5 figures. I was so bitter, but I learned a lot. And the whole point is, you have to read that column, because if you get sued, here's all I want to say. If you get sued, you need to go in and what happens is, a lot of people think like what'll happen is, like, if you're going to sue your attorney, you're going to sue your contractor, and you're so angry at the contractor and he messed everything up, blah, 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 blah. And so you go, so I'm going to sue you. All right. So you sue him, you go through the whole process. It's so expensive. There is no guarantee. First of all, in your mind, because you've been there and you lived it personally, you know that you're right. That doesn't mean that the court thinks you're going to be right. It's like going to Las Vegas and playing blackjack. All right. So, and it gets worse. A lot of people think that when you go to court and it's not like on Judge Judy, man. It is not like that at all. In other words, let's say you sue your contractor and the judge says you win $100,000. The contractor does not open his wallet and give you $100,000. That has never happened, and it never will happen. All the judge does is sign a paper, and it hands it to you. Says, "Here's your judgment for $100,000. Good luck getting it." It's all on that column. Read it all. Yeah, Taco Bell. It's horrible. Oh, okay. Hey, let me get caught up here. Lorene, my son loved the crane. He loved it. I wish I would have recorded the opening of it, because I wrote him a really nice small personal note with it that I hope he saves. I hope he shows it to his kids and his grandkids. Anyway, before he opened it, and Kathy was sitting there were just the 3 of us there, I told him, I said, listen, this is a hit or miss gift. There's a 50-50 chance that you're going to like it. You're either going to like it or you're going to hate it. There's no in between. And I said, if you hate it, I want it back. So he chuckled a little bit, and he opened it up, and his eyes, when he unwrapped it, I had wrapped it pretty well. His eyes went like this. His eyes got real big. I mean, he was pretty excited. He liked it a lot, to make a long story short. So the next day I went online, I bought another one. Here's the other one. So I'm going to restore this, and I'm going to get the green color right. This one, I'll show you something interesting. This one has got, I'll try to hold it up so you can see it. This one's got a little bit of a wobble on the crane, and it's because the rivet here is a little loose. So I'm going to try to compress that rivet so that, it doesn't have this, wobble. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to, if I can't get it tight, that's okay. But I would say, this weekend I may try to work on it, but I think I can have it fixed up in a half an hour. It's just a matter of mixing the colors, but I'm going to get the green color right this time. I am not going to paint the green unless it's right. So I can get the orange. The orange is really easy. The orange, all I did is I had a tiny can of red, beautiful, like fire engine red Rust-Oleum, and like sunflower yellow. And I had to mix probably, actually, here's the little cap I mixed it in. So that you can see the orange right here. So this is a little lighter than what's on the crane, because what happened is I had decided, if you can see it on top of this thing, I'm trying to hold it. There you can see it. See those two little bumps? I apologize, Lorraine, or any other ladies here. They look like nipples. All right. So there's not a doubt in my mind that those are like little emergency lights that you would see on the top of the old-fashioned fire engines and whatever. So I wanted, they were painted green originally, but I just thought it would look better if it was painted, like an amber color. So I after I had painted the crane the right orange, I put a little bit of yellow in the orange paint to kind of bring it down more to an amber, and it came out perfect. It was beautiful, beautiful. And I think I showed it on the back of the thing. Once again, it did not come with any tail lights, but I decided, what the heck. So I put 2 drops of red paint on the back for like tail lights. So anyway, whatever. I'm actually thinking about starting a collection of those, the construction series in the Matchbox. All right, let me get caught up. Oh, okay. I got it, Steve. I will ask. But Steve, yes, I know men have nipples too, but yes, we do. But never mind. I don't want to go there. All right. So actually, we can do a little poll right now. Let's just do a poll right now. That's probably what you mean. Let's do it. Well, you know what? The problem is the way that YouTube does this, I can't pick the choices. It's just yes or no. So I'm going to say, do you want to do the Zoom call on a weekend? And I'm just going to do that. So we'll see how this comes back. So anyway, let's see. Let me get caught up here. Says our neighbor says the builder hits twice. Well, it's a whole. Maybe we devote a live stream to suing. Maybe we do that. If you're older and have you don't have a brain. Yeah, exactly. Well, you're exactly right about that. All right. All right. I'm all caught up. So we're supposed to talk about ice dams. Oh, get this. So I scheduled this live stream just a little over an hour ago. And I then went back right before the live stream. Actually, I went back about a half an hour later before my phone call with my friend. And I had a column that I wanted you to see. I've got it here. And I wanted to find a video that I had done about ice dams to embed the video in the column. All right, I know that's a long story. So anyway, I'm trying to find it right now. Where in the heck is that daggone thing? Here we go. I think this is no, this is not it. Anyway, I type into Google. No, I typed into YouTube ice dam Tim Carter, and the second result that came up was this live stream that hadn't even started yet. So the point I'm trying to make is that Google is really favoring, or YouTube is really, really highly favoring the live streams in their results. It's really interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Very interesting is all I can say. So anyway, I have to go back and find this thing. I'm distracted because I'm trying to share with you. It's really important. And the page is gone. I don't know what happened to it. But I'm going to say it again. If you're watching, if you have any question about your home, I am more than happy to answer it. And I think it's right here. I think this is the one. If not, I'm going to, yes, this is the one. This is exactly what I wanted so that we can talk about ice stamps. All right, I'm back. Hopefully I'm back and didn't lose you. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is why I need a director. This is why I need a person who is off camera, who can do all this, who is very smart. And as I'm talking, they know, oh, I got to go find that video and paste it in the chat stream instead of me doing it. All right. So, and as far as me, as far as the live stream, it doesn't matter. It's just that we have, I'm hoping, Steve, that we can do it not a whole lot later than this time of day, but that's already late for you at night. So I'm just saying, we're building it all around you, Steve. It's as simple as that, because for all the obvious reasons. All right, here we go. Yes, well, I have the email addresses. Just so you know, Steve, I had, let's see, how many email addresses do I have? I don't know, 5 or 6, no more than 7. So anyway, we'll, I can ask all this, but here's what's going to happen. I've done this so many times. I already know that it's going to be impossible to satisfy everyone. And I think what's going to happen is, if we have a good time, and if it's successful, which I think it will be, it won't be the last one. We'll end up saying, well, let's maybe do another one in 2 weeks, because what happens is the topics that we can discuss are so much broader on the Zoom call, as you well know. Yes, you did. It was Jason. I'm almost positive Jason said that he could only do it on a weekend. So I just don't know what'll work out better for you. So Steve, what would really work better, I think, is if you could just email me over the weekend. If you have some free time, just tell me what would work best for you. And then we can start to build it around that. Here we go. Here's opaque. I don't know why there's some latency in the video, but oh, it's good. It's about lawsuits. Initiated 2 lawsuits in my life, one against a neighbor, another against GC. You won both. Make sure you have solid evidence to support your claims. Plenty of patience to be prepared. Yes, huge fees, huge money. Oh wait, but here's the question, opaque, that I've got for you. You say you won both lawsuits. Did whatever the judgment was, did you get all the money? And how much did you have to spend to get the money? Because that happens afterwards. Meaning, can you just give me a percentage? You don't have to tell me the numbers. But in other words, let's just say if you won $100,000 in the lawsuit, but you had another $40,000 in attorney's fees to collect it, and you only ended up getting $60,000. So you only got 60% of what you won. That's what I'm really interested in. So Jason can do it during the week. Okay. Tim, any experience with, here we go, Benefact Botanical Disinfectant Cleaner for use with mold. I have no experience with that product. I've never used it. And the reason why is I have my own product that I would use for that purpose. That's completely certified organic, completely fabric wood. It's safe on wood, safe on composite, it cleans teak furniture. I mean, the only wood furniture I would not use this on would be redwood, because it might darken the redwood. If you're going to clean redwood, you need to use oxalic acid. So OXALIC, oxalic acid. But if you're going to clean teak or any other wood, and you want to get mildew and stuff off, this is it. Stain Solver, stainsolver.com. Let's see what. Let me get something to drink here. Still pretty hot. It's really. Oh, Steve, you need to know. Cold here today. This morning, -2 Fahrenheit. Tonight it's supposed to go down. I think the last I saw was -6. Let's see. Wow. Like I said, I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it's cold, really cold. -8 tonight. Oh, and a buddy of mine, he may be watching right now. He's his name is Mike. That's all I'm going to tell you. He lives up in Presque Isle, Maine. I've never met him personally, but we are really good friends online. He's a subscriber to the newsletter, and we've communicated for years. He reached out to me this morning for some, I can't remember what topic we started. We emailed back and forth for a while. I should have just gotten on the phone with him. It saved a lot of time. 20 below zero in Presque Isle this morning. Steve, do that math. Do that. Go to a conversion. I mean, 20 degrees Fahrenheit must be, I don't know, what is that? Is that like minus 30 Celsius? It's got to be a big number. your ears were hurting today because it was cold. Wear a hat, man. Yeah. So Lorene, watch out for wet and forget. Look at the label of wet and forget and tell me if it says this is the ingredient. If it says sodium hypochlorite, sodium is one word, hypochlorite is a second word. All that is chlorine bleach. So chlorine bleach, bad for a lot of things. It'll ruin fabric, it'll ruin wood, it'll ruin your clothes, blah, 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 blah. All right, so sodium hypochlorite, not a good thing. Okay, let's see. So Opaque never answered. I'm just may not be here anymore. Like I said, it's one thing to win a lawsuit. It's another thing to collect the money that you supposedly won. And you never get all the money back that you won. Well, I mean, you may get the check for 100,000, but you had to spend 40 or 50 or 60 to get the 100. So that means you only net whatever the difference is between those two numbers. So London today, I mean, it couldn't have been that cold in London. Give me a break. I mean, give me a break. Now, I'll say this about London. In all the years that I worked outside, and I worked in, I was in Cincinnati. We had cold weather there. But to me, and it's even true to this day, the coldest weather, as far as I'm concerned, is maybe 34 degrees and raining. 34 degrees and rain. So to me, that's kind of what I think London's like. You get 34 Fahrenheit, chilly, cold rain. It's bone chilling cold. Just there, that humidity in the air, just bone chilling. Here we go. Lorraine wants to know, can you use stain solver to spray siding? Yes, I have. Yes, go to stainsolver.com, type in siding. Just type in siding in the search engine, hit go or hit return, and watch what happens. You're going to see a bunch of columns that come back about how to use it on all the different types of siding, cedar, vinyl, whatever. Yes, and I show you exactly how to use it, and there's some really great videos to watch how to use it. We have collected 70 total worth, 3 payments left. 3 payment. He exposes his person. Okay, got it. Okay, well, good for you. Oh, well, so it sounds like you did not have to use an attorney to collect the money. Well, good for you. Good for you. That's great. Very good. That's pretty rare, just so you know. Typically, once you get the judgment, you have to keep paying the attorney to make the money come in. Somebody, because you have to squeeze that. In other words, the person doesn't want to freely give up the money, so somebody has got to put pressure on him to write the checks. That's the rub. That's the rub here in our system. So anyway, all right. But to your point, Opaque, and I've written a lot about this, and now it's so easy. It's with these things, with these crazy phones we have with these amazing cameras and video. So you have to take plenty of photos. You take photos every day. The biggest problem I can tell you in all the expert witness work I've done, where people make a mistake, homeowners make a mistake, is they rely on, when things start to go south, they don't write things down and they don't communicate in a written manner. And what you have to do, for example, if you're texting, like if you are having a text thread with a builder, you need to capture screenshots of all that. In other words, whatever you need to avoid talking. In other words, do not do what I'm doing, because unless you record it. And you might be in a state where you're not allowed to record, where it's a two-party state, and he has to give you permission to record. I'm just saying you need to put everything in writing and make him respond in writing. And that's the strong evidence you need. That's going to really, really help you. Here we go. You were wearing shorts and flip-flops. No way. No way you were wearing shorts and flip-flops outside. Will, should you rake the snow if you have ice shield on? Yes. Yes. I do that here. I trust the ice and water shield. I trust it, but I still, well, my roof, normally the snow comes off by itself, but I don't want to take a chance in certain areas of the house. So I go ahead and rake the roof in certain places. Yes. So anyway, Lorene asked me and I didn't get it. Here we go. Our 180-pound dog hurt his leg. The ground for urine. Yes. Yeah. So stain solver is a fantastic odor remover too. It's so powerful that it will immediately disable skunk odor molecules. So my German Shepherd, Lady the dog, who went over the Rainbow Bridge, she would every now and then run up into these woods right here. I know you can't see them. I would hear her bark. She would tangle with a flipping skunk. You would think that she would learn. And of course, she'd come back home. She always came to the front door and barked, like, bark, let me know that it was time to come in. I would always like, wait a minute. And I would smell it. I go, you just stay right there. So I would go in, mix up some stain solver, get Kathy, because Kathy would have to put a dishcloth across her eyes and across her nose, because you don't want to get the stain solver solution in any mucous membrane or in your eyes. I mean, it's a flipping oxidizer. But we would very gently, I would take a very gentle little sponge and sponge her face, because that's where the skunk is spraying, is right at her face and her shoulders. And then after about 15 minutes, she smells good. So it's fantastic at dog urine, any kind of urine odors, cat urine, male cat spray, deodorizes all that. No, you don't need to use baking soda more. Stain solver is so much better because it breaks the odor molecule in half. Yes, Opaque says, reading my mind. Yeah, screenshots of emails, text with a dagger for us. Bingo. Good for you. Good for you for getting those screenshots. Yeah, I've been deposed so many times I've lost count. I mean, I've been in so many depositions, and 80, well, actually probably 97% of the cases I was in, never went to trial. They rarely go to trial, but I've been in the courtroom probably 3 times where people said, no, we're going to court. And that's a really cool experience, going into the courtroom. That's where, and even in a deposition, this is where Steve's going to love this. Because you're going to love this. So this is where my big rub is with the media, here in the United States right now. And I'm a member of the media. I'm part of the working press. I still write my syndicated column. All right. But when you're deposed or you're going to a courtroom and you're put on a witness stand, here's what you say in America. You have to raise your right hand and say this. You say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So why do you have to tell the whole truth? Well, if you have kids, you already know the answer to that. Because when something goes south, man, And if you have multiple kids and they circle the wagons, it's tough to get to the truth, man. It's tough to find out what happened, man. Their stories all match, and so there's a saying in my business: a half truth is a whole lie. It's called a lie by omission. That's what the technical phrase is: a lie by omission. And do you think the media in the United States is telling the whole truth in every story they write? English Mastiff. That's a big dog. Anyway, the stain solver is going to work to get the dog clean. It's going to work to get rid of all the odors. Yeah, well, get this. There was a Steve. There was a recent bill that one of the parties here in America, begins with a D, tried to put up in front of Congress here recently. I don't think it passed. I hope it didn't. Buried deep in this bill was that the federal government was going to pay half the salary of all of the people in the media. Can you even believe someone would put that in a bill? Steve, if you're still here, was there all kinds of partying happening the last few days in the UK? I mean, is it a huge happiness about the announcement 3 days ago, or are there still some haters? Some people who drank the Kool-Aid. Tell us what's going on. So I know there's some kind of latency in the chat. We know that. So we'll wait. If you're watching and you have got a question about your home, your apartment, your condo, your business, I don't care what it is, put it in the chat. I'm more than, that's why I'm here. So I'm not clairvoyant. I don't know what problems you have, but you need to type them in so that I can help you. It's that simple. And once again, if you're watching and you don't have a YouTube account, that's the only way that you can comment. You have to have a YouTube account, and they're free. You're not going to get spammed. You don't have to upload a video. You can go open up a YouTube account in the next 3 minutes, and then you should be able to come back and comment if you reload the page. Okay. No party. We're still skeptical. Interesting. Lorene, that is how these laws happen. They start with good legislation, then add in 5. Yes. Yeah. All these riders and stuff. The other thing is, this is what bothers me immensely, is that when you see how big some of these laws are, they're not written by the Congress people. They're written by lobbyists and outside sources, which I think should be illegal. I think that should be illegal. In other words, if a congressman wants to submit a law, he actually has to write it himself. And the law, and then what's going to happen? All of a sudden, you're going to see that these laws are going to be back to being 1 page or 2 pages long, not 1,000 pages. What do I know? I used to eat lunch sitting on overturned drywall buckets, So we don't remember. We want to stay away from a lot of this if we can, because it doesn't move the football down the field at all, But we can have some fun with it on the Zoom call. People can get some stuff off their chest, Every now and then, I want to have, if I want to put myself in a good mood. Oh, by the way, Steve, you're going to like this music. Let me share a page I created at my, on the Ask the Builder website a few days ago. And I'm going to share it in the newsletter this week. And it's an English band that Steve, you're going to recognize, that created this song. Forget the guy's name, but Penguin Street Cafe, right? You've heard of them. Been around for a while, but I first heard this song, like you can read it on this webpage, but I first heard the song years ago on in the Napoleon Dynamite movie. It's right at the end of the movie. And it's such a wonderful this music just puts me in the happiest mood. So if I'm feeling a little grumpy, I go listen to this. So it's really a great music. So watch the clip first. The top video on that page, that's the actual last part of the movie of Napoleon Dynamite. And and you can kind of read the words above that I wrote that gives you a little bit of context of what's going on, because there were some subplots in the Napoleon Dynamite movie, and they kind of at the end of the movie in that last 3-4 minutes, you kind of see how they were closed up. All in a good way, by the way, all in a good way. Here we go. Lorene says, our house came with many unexpected projects. I can come up with various topics. Good. Lorene, you know what to do. It's always best if you want, because I'm trying to do it online. If you would just email me a list, if you don't mind, that would be great. That would be the best way. And just put in the subject line, live stream topics. That would be great. Yeah. And Will says, yeah, add a topic. I'm happy to talk about anything. Happy, even now. So if you want to, Lorraine, we can switch gears a little bit. Type in a smaller topic right now that you type in a small project right now that you've got or that want to do, and we'll do it. Here we go. Here's a good one. N89. I have gutters that are 75 feet long. It's sloped in the middle. The problem is it's not sloped enough, creating water to go over the back of the gutter when it rains hard. Okay, well then I would in the spring, unless you're down in Florida now or Southern California where it's warm, you just need to shape the gutter so it's got some fall to it. I mean, it's really not that hard to do. It's really not that hard. You'd be surprised. You can get that aluminum to bend a little bit without kinking it, and you can create some fall. If it was an old-fashioned galvanized steel gutter, you're not getting much bend out of it at all. Okay, here you go. Are you serious? You never heard of the Penguin Street Cafe? That's interesting. I thought they were big over in the UK. Very interesting. N89 says, a professional installed a year ago. Should I have him reinstall it or have another company come over? Well, I think that you should probably call the first person that put it in, and I'm just assuming it's not frozen right now. You don't live here in New Hampshire where it's cold. If you can demonstrate, in other words, if you can get up on a ladder yourself safely, put a garden hose and show the standing water, then have him come over and just do that test while he's there. And you're going to find out really quickly if this person has any honor or not. If he's honorable and he'll come back and fix it, awesome. Otherwise, you're going to have somebody else do it. And just so you know, when the other person comes and fixes it, or whoever fixes it, you need to be up on the ladder. You need to say, don't start your truck yet. Wait, whoa. Don't take your ladders down yet. No. Let's get up there. Let's check it to make sure it works. So you have to, while they're still there, you need to check it. You need to test it. And don't put a 4-foot level in it. You actually put water in it and see what happens. Now, you're going to get some standing water in a gutter because of the surface tension of the water, unless the gutter's got a really significant, fall to it, which is most don't, because they just don't look right if they're really sloped a lot. So, I mean, you're not going to get the thing to run like a flipping sewer line. All right. You're welcome. The kitchen island has a watermark around the bottom. Okay. I'll talk about that in just a second. Steve says, we just found out that here it's just exactly right. Well, that's the same way over here in the United States, Steve, that all the numbers that were reported here in the United States were cases that people were admitted for some other reason, and they just so happened to have COVID too, but they could have been asymptomatic. It's all been a big scam. It's all coming apart. It's all starting to come apart. It's never, I mean, you can go back and read my original letters to the editor right after this started. I mean, it took me about 10 days to figure it out. In the first 10 days, I went, wait a minute, this is not making sense. And so I started writing letters to the editor. Go to the Laconia Daily Sun. That's that little newspaper here. and go to the search engine and type in Tim Carter, and then kind of look through all the results and go back to March and April or so of 2020 and read my letters to the editor where I was trying to yell to everybody like, wake up, you are being played. You are being played. I go to the grocery store today. And anyway, did you read, Steve, did you read my letter about the growing mushrooms? I mean, Will did. I go to the flipping store today, the grocery here in Meredith. Half the people are wearing flipping masks. I just want to scream at them. I want to walk around the store with my shirt up, with take my flipping t-shirt. I got a great t-shirt on today and hold it up to the flipping light and say, do you see all those holes in the fabric? Where the threads cross one another? You've got the same holes in your flipping mask. And if smoke gets through, in other words, do you smell that person over there smoking? Well, how the heck do you think that got into your nose? The COVID particle is only 1/1000th or 1/100th the size of a smoke particle, an invisible smoke particle. It's crazy. What is wrong with these people? Doesn't anybody use their flipping brain anymore? Okay, good. I'm good. You did. All right. You read that. I'm glad you liked the mushroom letter to the editor. It'll be interesting next week to see if that little paper, if they publish a hate mail letter, where someone tries to rebut it saying, oh, Tim Carter, he's such a dumbass. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh my God. You can tell I'm still riled up about the flipping stain solver lawsuit. I'm a little on the muscle today. That was a phrase my dear departed mother-in-law used to say. I got that from her. My mother-in-law, she was such a great woman. Oh my gosh. She would call me, she always just called me Tim Carter. Never said Tim. And that's because she had a son who was 3 years older than me, named Timmy or Tim. So I was Tim Carter and her son was Tim or Timmy. She was a great woman. She was a great cook. Great woman. Funny. She would drink a hot cup of coffee. It would be 93 degrees, like at 2 p.m, and she would have a cup of hot coffee in her hand. It made me perspire just looking at it. How could a person drink hot coffee and it's 92 degrees outside? The lady, the lady suing me, first of all, I don't even think she exists. She's this made up. That's why, just so you know, that is why, we'll see what happens on Monday on the phone call, but I am telling you, it would not take hardly anything for me to do a road trip and drive out to California because there's so many beautiful things to see on the way. And it would all be a business expense. And I will show up that morning of the trial, and I'll plead my case. Because if you go to Stain Solver right now, it's ADA compliant. And I want her to show me where it wasn't. And I already know she doesn't have the evidence, or this mystical person. There's no way they got the flipping evidence. All right. Exactly. Got it. Exactly, Steve. You're welcome, N89. I hope you put in the turban vents. Those are the best ones. The whirly birds, that people call them. Those are the mushrooms, the spinning mushrooms. Those are the best. They are. I put 5 of them in my daughter's home. They are fantastic. And get the ones made down in Arkansas. I think Will said the company is Lamanco, Lomanco, Lamanco. They make the best ones here in America. All right. Any other questions? Let's see what the poll. I'm going to end the poll. Look, the numbers are looking pretty. Yeah, end the poll. Let's see what it says here. I even forget what I asked. Do you want to? I think I said, do you want to do it on a weekend? It's gonna bring up the results here in a minute. Yeah. Do you want to do the Zoom call on a weekend? No, 58%. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So Steve, we kind of got our answer there. Anyway, so like I said, Steve, just email me. Let's take this off list and we'll work it out. What's best for you. And as I said, we're not going to get everybody on the call at the first time. If we do, it'll be a miracle. And we don't need to try to do it. We just need to, we try to accommodate as many as we can, be as open as we can. And then those that don't make it on, we'll try to do one that works for them. I mean, we'll do our best. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, so I always have this problem. This poll, I know you can't see it on your screen, but the poll results come up. Maybe I just have to click it. I can't remember how I got that to disappear. But anyway, it's covering the low part of the chat. So if someone has chatted me a message, I cannot see what's chatted because it's behind the stupid poll results. So I'm trying to click it to get it out of there, but nothing's working. Nothing's working. If you're chatting, you have to keep. There we go. I don't understand that, Will. You said maybe have one for those on your email list. Oh, no. If you mean ask them about doing a Zoom call, oh my gosh, that would be bedlam. I can't imagine a Zoom call with 100 or 200 people on it. I mean, I know as I'm the moderator that I can mute everybody, but trying to give people I think we want to keep this Zoom call pretty private. So we'll see. Well, Steve, look at the, you say, okay, now we need to establish which day, Saturday or Sunday. Well, the poll results say, no, they don't want to do it on a Saturday or Sunday. 58% of the people. So I'll ask you really quickly because now I can see the results. Do you, Steve, do you work Monday through Friday every week? Do you work Monday through Friday every week? That's all I want to know. Or do you have a schedule? Do you have a schedule for like maybe every now and then you get a day off during the week? Some people have that kind of a situation. So that I hope that's not asking too personal a question. If it's too personal, don't answer it. Get back to me via email. Yes. The poll that I just did, it was only anybody who happens to be here who is probably going to do the Zoom call. Yeah. Exactly. Not a problem. So just email me, Steve. Let's do this via email. It's so much easier, so much faster. I just need to know. It just seems to me it would be so much better for you to be earlier in the day than trying to be doing this thing at 10 o'clock at night or whatever. But even still, like if you get home because I don't know your work schedule. I just get this feeling like you get home from work at like 10 o'clock at night. And you don't have to say any of that here. It's your private life. Let's do this via email. All right. Jason says, has to be after 4 for me to be able to make it during the week. Okay, right. Exactly. So the trouble with that is after 4 o'clock, hold on. Alexa, what time is it in London?
In London, it's 9:54 p.m.
Okay, that's what I thought. 5 hours. It's because it's the same as ham radio. So it's just before 10 o'clock in Steve's time. So anyway, I'm like I said, here, and then we'll just move away from the Zoom topic. I'm going to get with Steve via email. We're going to try to work out. I'll get a little bit better picture of Steve's situation. Then I'm going to email everybody who I've heard from. If you're watching right now and you want to get on this Zoom call, and just so you know what the Zoom call is being about, you need to know ahead of time. This Zoom call is going to be pretty wild. There's not a doubt in my mind we're going to discuss politics. You may not agree with people's position on it. We're not going to get into arguments. You may not be happy with the Zoom call. Who knows what we're going to talk about. So the first one, I think really what's going to happen, it's going to be more of a get to know everybody, because at this point, a lot of people don't know. I mean, they don't know anything. So it's about who we all are and what we do. That's just so you know, from my perspective, that's what I'm trying to pull out of this. I mean, you are talk about a one-sided relationship. You know my hat size, you know what drinks I like, you know so much about me. I don't know anything about you. The only thing I know about is Will can golf, and Will's got a wood stove. All right. I know Steve lives in London. I mean, I just know, I don't know anything. I'm just curious about you. And I'm sure other people here will be curious a little bit about you. So, you know, I'm hoping you share a little bit about just who you are and what you do. That's all. Not, you know, you don't have to share your hat size. Exactly, Lorraine. See what I mean? Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh, I finally figured out what the poll does on my screen. So when I end the poll and it publishes this box, the box takes the position of as if someone had chatted. So it's actually not hiding anything. And as soon as, because right now, there's a comment above it about from N89. You probably see it. You probably see it yourself. You know, you probably see it. What am I telling you for? Yes. No serpents. No serpents. Not a big fan of serpents. Now you can give it to Kathy. Kathy will take it. Not me. No serpents. Not for me. Oh my gosh. All right. So are we not going to solve? Oh, I never talked about the flippin' ice stamps. Oh my gosh. People are going to think I have no credibility. I'm going to have to go in and edit this video and say I talked about it at the end. I'm going to have to go in and edit it. Oh, I can't actually. Just so you know, that's interesting. YouTube lets you edit videos, but they do not let you add anything. You can only take stuff out. Isn't that interesting? Well, it makes perfect sense because you could do a bait and switch video. Oh, well. Okay. Here. Okay, N89. So you want to do the Zoom call. So Steve's, look at that. Great stuff here. I'm going to look at that in just a minute. So N89, if you want to be on the Zoom call, you need to email me. Or you really just, best thing is go to my Ask the Builder website, go to the Ask Tim page, fill out that form. It's really simple. Just your name, email address, and then in the comment area, just say, hey, I'm N89 on the live stream. And then I'll copy you into my other file. And when I send out the email, everybody's going to know. So that's the best way to do it. Here we go. Steve's. I work shifts. My hours are either 7:30 to 4:30 or 14 to 21, sometimes 7 to, I'm a support worker for vulnerable adults. Okay. Nothing to hide here. Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. We're going to work around that. We're going to do that. All right. So let's talk really quickly. I understand. I got it. That's why you and I, Steve, because I assume you knew your schedule a little ahead of time, maybe a week out. You're going to pick a time. You're just going to say, let's do the Zoom call this day, this time. And then I'm going to blast everybody out, and whoever can show up, great. Whoever can't, we'll do it another time to favor them. All right. That's the only way I know how to do it. You're the one in charge. We're going to do the Zoom call, Steve, built around you. Simple as that. All right, here we go. Ice stamps real quickly. So here's what it is. The reason ice stamps form is because snow is on your roof, and for any number of reasons, the snow starts to melt. I mean, it could be from the sun. It's often heat escaping through the house. It starts to melt the snow, and then the melt water floats underneath the snow. It comes to the gutter or the edge of the roof where, like today here in New Hampshire, where the edge of the roof or the gutter is 5 degrees. For example, today on the south facing part of my roof, it was 5 degrees and water's coming down the roof. The roof gets so hot from the sun, it will melt the snow up there. And it instantly freezes. And first of all, you need to also understand the water is super chilled. As the water's floating underneath the ice, it's actually moving, but it could be 32 degrees or lower. So it flash freezes. And all of a sudden, when it gets to the bottom, it starts to flash freeze backwards up the roof. That's what causes the ice dam. So you have the snow melting. You want to stop ice dams? It's so simple. Don't give them any food. Get the flipping snow off the roof. Get the snow off the roof, and you're not going to have ice dams. All right, I know it's not easy on all roofs. Some it's very hard to get it off. Get the snow off the roof. That's how you stop. That's how you prevent ice dams. It's that simple. If you cannot do that, if it's too hard to get the snow off the roof, the next time you re-roof, then you put grace ice and water shield over the entire roof, because you can have ice dams form 20 feet up on a roof. They can form anywhere. They don't just all form at the bottom of the roof. And if you're building a new home, you have to lap the grace ice and water shield up onto the sides. You have to flash skylights, chimneys, dormers, just as you would flash them with a metal flashing. It has to be done expertly so that if the ice builds up and the water starts to get up 4, 5, 6 inches on the dormer or the skylight, it won't get in. I did all that on my own house here 6 years ago when I re-roofed it. So that's ice dam prevention. It's really simple. Don't take the snow away from them. No, then you get no ice dam. There's nothing. How could the ice form if there's no snow on the roof? Simple as that. Yes, Will and I both, we don't like serpents. Mr. Ryan, here we go. I have an ice dam that forms off of a valley onto what was a wraparound porch 3 feet lower. It can make a column with a square foot or wider base. Yeah, so you just heard what I said, Mr. Ryan. As soon as it snows, get the snow off the roof. Here in New Hampshire, we have, I never saw these things in Cincinnati because we didn't get that much snow. But here in New Hampshire, every hardware store carries what's called a roof rake. And it's just, all it is, it's a plastic, I'm trying to hold my hands up. It's about that wide, about as wide as you see. So it's maybe 20 inches wide, and it's about 5 inches high. And it's just a scoop. It's shaped like this, like my hand. It's just got a little scoop. It's like a parentheses. It's like a parenthesis mark. That's exactly what it's shaped like. And it's attached to 4 aluminum poles. You can reach up about 20 feet with it, and you just start pulling the snow down onto the ground. And so and my neighbor, just so you know, Mr. Ryan, my neighbor next door has the exact situation that you just described above his front door. Well, there's a porch. There's like a farmer's porch on his house. There's a steeper roof above it and a dormer roof above it. And we have to rake off that farmer's porch roof where there's a valley, just like you described, or they'll get this huge, horrible ice dam. Huge. Same exact situation. So it only takes like 5 minutes to get the snow off. Steve wants to know, yes, we have garter snakes, they're called. Garter snakes. And they're harmless. They're non-poisonous. They can get to maybe, and I'm sure there's some other types. There are evidently no poisonous snakes in New Hampshire. There used to be years ago. Eastern diamondback rattlesnakes, but it could have been 50 or 100 years since the last one was spotted. But the snakes in New Hampshire are all non-poisonous. Yeah, I don't doubt it, Will, that they ran out of the rakes in Maine. Yeah, and what I should do, I should probably buy another one just to have a spare, just in case. Although my neighbor would let me borrow his. Mr. Ryan, got a roof rake. It doesn't reach high enough. If the storm, and I've been heat tape. Yes. So, what we have to do at my neighbor's home, if this is any help to you, we have to set up a step ladder. We actually get a 6-foot step ladder. An 8-footer would be better. I have an 8-foot step ladder. He doesn't. And by getting up on the step ladder, and somebody holds the step ladder so they don't fall, you then have a much better angle and can get at it. So that's all I can think of. If I had a photo of your place, I would have a recommendation. How many different Steve says? How many different kinds of damage can ice? Okay, so here's what happens, Steve. If you have an ice dam and it forms and you don't have any protection, what happens? The way we put shingles on in America, and probably I would think that it's the same way in the UK. You have a lot of slate roofs and whatever. So the way that shingles are installed, they're installed like this, where here's a shingle, then the next one is installed over it, and so on and so forth, all the way up. Well, the trouble is, if water, where my hands are overlapping, if I'll open them up like that, if water can easily back up, it can come up and get over the top of this shingle, and that's where the problem is. And it happens much more quickly on low slope roofs, as you can see why. And the ice dam allows that to happen because the ice dam is building up and it's allowing that water to rise up higher back behind the shingles. Luckily, probably 35 years ago, a company here in America called Grace, they had some smart engineer or scientist who said, hey, we can make this product that is like felt paper, but it's a rubberized asphalt with like a plastic coating on the top. And the asphalt that they use has got styrene, butadiene, styrene in it, an additive, which is a very sticky. It's almost like epoxy. And when you blend that with asphalt, the asphalt, I mean, it's like contact paper. So, Steve, what happens is, just imagine a new roof, a new house where you just have wood and you've not covered it with anything yet. If you put this membrane on the roof and you put it from the bottom all the way to the top, and it glues to itself, every place where you overlap it, it glues. There's no way water can get in it. And that's what I did here at my home. So I can cover my whole roof. So the water could get, I don't know, 6 feet high on my house. You could have an ice dam 6 feet high, 7 feet high, 8 feet high. It would never leak into my home. Right. So there's a crutch word. So, and what can it do? So you want to know, what damage can it do? Well, it'll cause drywall to fail. It will get the insulation wet. If you have an ice dam and you're not home, it can drip onto a hardwood floor. It'll completely ruin and warp the hardwood floor. Mold issues. It's very serious. In my neighbor's case, if we don't get that snow off that part of their roof and it gets a bad ice dam, that's right where their kitchen sink is, kitchen cabinets. It could easily do $100,000 worth of damage. It could completely wipe out their kitchen. I mean, that would easily be $100,000 insurance claim. So it can do a lot of damage. Well, okay, that's a great question. So let's talk about DOS here. I had the Grace membrane it's put on my new roof. No, well, the answer is DOS. Maybe. The reason why is I don't know if they put it on right. So that's the problem. I don't know if you have dormers and other things. I don't know. They may not have put it on right. So the answer is it's better to rake off, it's better to rake off some of the snow if you can. Because here's what we know. If there's no snow on the roof, you are not going to have a leak. Or if there's just a little bit of snow, you're not going to have a leak. So that's the answer to your question. Could you not put, Steve wants to know, could you not put a silicone? Well, so Steve, that's a great question, by the way. That is a great question. Caulk of any type is not a roofing material. I know there's a lot of people and a lot of companies that make caulks for roofing purposes. The sun will mess it up. And the trouble that you have is the expansion and contraction. You need to understand that in the summertime, every time the sun comes out, it heats the roof up, you get some movement in the roofing material, the sun goes down, and then the roofing material contracts. And, here that happens twice a day for, 180 days, 360 cycles. The seal could be broken. So that's why caulk is not I would never depend on it. Never, ever, ever. Will says, I've heard people filling a ladies' nylon stocking with rock salt. Well, that's I don't know. So I don't think that would do much. The salt's not going to hurt the roof, just so you know. The salt will not hurt the roof. Mr. Ryan, thank you for the answer. It helped measure. There's not much to be done other than address the insulation. I hope to be able to redo the roof and have an externally insulated roof. Yes. Okay. Yeah. You're welcome. And Dosh, you're welcome too. Remember, there's so much more on my website about this topic. I mean, go read all of my ice dam columns. Watch all. I must have 3 or 4 ice dam videos. Go to the website. There's so much more. I just can't. It would take me an hour to get it all on my head here right now. Lorene. But the nylon sock has to come down somewhere. Yes, it does. Nylons are the best. That's all I can tell you. They're the best. They're even mentioned in a Van Halen song. What is the name of the song? Oh gosh, drives me nuts. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Maybe share it tomorrow. Yes, Steve wants to know that the weight of the server. You bet it does. Will, if Will has been, I think, living in the New England a lot longer than I have, I can tell you that. I can tell you when I think it was. I think it was the winter of 2006, maybe 2007, here in New Hampshire. So, Steve, normally New Hampshire, where I live in the center of the state, I think the total accumulation for an average snow season is somewhere between 65 and 75 inches of snow. So that is about as tall as you probably are. So, I'm 5 foot, I'm 5'7", so that would be 67 inches. There was a winter where I didn't live here yet, but I had bought the land. I had bought the 90 acres, which I bought in 2006. I think it was 2006, 2000. They had like 11 feet of snow. So there were roof collapses everywhere. The roofs will collapse. I have a column on the website about how heavy the snow and ice is. I mean, remember, it's just water. So there's the crutch word. What does water weigh? So I've got it right here. A cubic foot of water weighs 62.4 pounds. Cubic foot. That's why you don't want ice on the roof, because ice is solid. It's solid water. It's so snow. If you may have, Steve, we may have a foot of snow, but if you can carefully slice that foot of snow, put it into a bucket and bring it inside and let it melt, you might only get an inch of water. But the snows here in America, they have all different types of moisture content. Some, like our snows early in the season and late in the season, are very wet and very heavy. I mean, so the answer is it can cause roof collapses. If it snows early enough in the season and it's a wet, sticky snow, you'll have havoc. I mean, all these tree branches will come down because the snow sticks to the leaves and the trees just come crashing down. It can be bad. It can be really bad. Missing. Lorraine says 2019 had a lot of roof failures and collapses in Chicago. Yes. I remember that. Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. So yes, the snow and ice cause big problems, big issues, big issues with your home. You have to really respect it. And the problem is you don't know how the house was built frequently. So you don't know how strong the roof is. That's why I have to get the snow off my deck in the back. I have a deck on the back of my home that is 10 feet wide and it's 65 feet long, and the snow comes right off the roof. I can already tell you, because I put new decking on it. I stripped it down. I saw how the idiots built it. They did not through bolted. They didn't build it right, in my opinion. And I did my best to strengthen it, but I do not think my deck would survive 10 feet of snow on it. And the trouble is If you don't get it off right away, and meaning, I know this sounds crazy. So so what's today? Friday. So remember Monday we had that snowstorm, and it was a real nice light fluffy snow. So Steve, if you're still here, this is what can happen. It was a real nice light fluffy snow. It was not as fluffy as flour, but I am trying to think of what it might be like. I can't think of anything. It was a little coarser than flour, maybe like cornmeal. And anyway, but what happened is the last part of the storm, for about 45 minutes, it rained. So man, the rain all of a sudden transformed the snow. It was horrible. Became very heavy. And here's what I knew was going to happen. I mean, the way the low pressure system was operating, within a few hours, within 6 hours, it was going to be 25 degrees here, which meant if you did not get it, if you did not take care of it overnight, it was going to freeze. And then it would be a nightmare to try to get rid of it. And so that's why that afternoon I was not on, because remember, my neighbor broke his ankle. I worked 4 hours straight. I was so flipping tired on Monday night. My daughter finally came out and helped. But I had to do all of my stuff. I had to do my neighbor's stuff. We had to get it done, and because it was going to freeze. And that's what happened. I mean, you should see my sidewalk coming into my home. The sidewalk coming to my home, Steve, has got ice this thick on it. This thick, and it's not coming off. Here's what's interesting. You may find this hard to believe. Here it is, January 21st. That ice may not come off my sidewalk until the middle of March. I mean, as I look at my forecast here over the next 10 days, I don't even think it's going to get close to freezing 32. It's crazy. I mean, it's getting cold here, buddy. All right. So you ask, I'll get caught up on your questions. Here we go. Do people ever keep some of the snow and filter it when it turns to water? Either drinking or watering the garden. Oh, no, you don't have, not here where I am in New Hampshire. We don't have to. We have, I would think our climate here in New Hampshire is a lot like yours in London with respect to average annual precipitation. We have plenty of rain here. We get normally, I think, in a given year, we'll get 36 inches of rain. That's a lot, 3 feet of rain. We have rain or snow every month out of the year. I mean, it's very rare that we go and it's dry. So like 2 years ago, we had a pretty dry June. We went like 6 weeks without rain, but we then get caught up. But no, I can't. And here where I am in Central New Hampshire, there's so many natural springs. You don't need to save water. We got plenty of water. We don't need any extra. And that's one of the reasons why I moved here. Water is so important. That's why I'm not moving out to the Southwest where water is scarce. That's a big mistake in my opinion. So, or does it rain a lot? Yeah. So I just answered that. We get, like I said, we get nice rain all through the year. I mean, it's now every now and then a weather pattern will develop. For example, 12 years ago here, and this Will may have been in Maine. He may remember this. I remember this. I remember when it was. It would have been 2000. It was either the summer of 2009 or the summer of 2010. I think it was 2009. You could look it up online. In the month of June, it rained every day except one day. And we had this one day so the ground was really saturated. Then one day it rained like the dickens, and there was a lot of flash flooding. It wiped out the weirs. It wiped out the railroad tracks. It really caused a lot of damage here. So we can get a lot of rain in a short amount of time. Here we go. Will says, a roofer told me to remove the gutters on the second floor to stop the ice dam. No, the roofer, so the roof, he's wrong. That's not going to stop it, because what happens then is right at the edge of the roof, as you well know, where it's exposed, that's as soon as the water hits that point, it's going to freeze and the ice dam is going to start again. And so getting rid of the gutter does not stop the ice dam. You got to get rid of the snow. Steve says, in London, we seem to be losing our neighborly spirit. It used to be close-knit. Well, welcome to the club, Commander. I think in many parts of the United States, it's that way. I can't say for all of it. There are still some great places in America where people are good neighbors. I'm lucky. I have a great neighbor next door. I really don't have anybody on south of me. There's a lot of woods. There's not a house. The closest house to me is, I don't know, 300 feet away south. And we don't, it's kind of some woods between us. So we don't, it's not easy to be neighborly with those people. It's a hardship to go see them and vice versa. But my next door neighbor, we share a driveway, so I drive by him all the time. Great people. Thank you, Will, for hiding Mr. Loser username hides who he is. What did I want to say? An hour and 20 minutes. Are you kidding me? Is everybody still having fun? I guess so. We've got people watching. It's a Friday, so I hope. Here's what I'm going to do this weekend. I actually, it's a big working weekend for me. Oh, I got so much to do. Typically on Friday I do my newsletter, and I queue it all up, and it automatically gets sent out on Sunday morning. Well, I haven't even started on it yet, so I got to do the newsletter in the morning. I got to finish that sewer gas ebook. A lot of stuff. Yeah, time flies when you're having a good time. It is. It is. We're having a good time. Oh, so I'll share this really quickly. I know I've already mentioned it. Will lives about 2.5 hours from me. It's not that far. It just takes a while to get there. And in the spring, Will and I are going to play golf. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a video. I'm going to shoot a video while I'm there. Will's going to hold the camera, and we're going to talk about what's going on. I don't know if Will's going to be in the video. It's up to him. But I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a funny video. You guys cannot wait to see this video that we're going to shoot. It's going to be pretty long because I want to film a before. I want to film basically a minimum of a minute per hole. So that's 18 minutes. Because I'm going to talk about the hole, or what Will says. Will might be off camera and describe it because he knows this golf course really well, and he'll describe. Actually, that's really what I would love. I would love Will to be on the camera, but if he doesn't want to be, that's okay. But at least maybe his voice. It's up to him. And if he doesn't want to do that, he'll just describe it to me, and then I'll tell you. But we're going to describe how hard the hole is and where you're supposed to hit it, and then after we're done and we go back to the golf cart, then we're going to record what happened. And all I can tell you is wait till we get to hole number 5. Oh my gosh, wait till you see that. He sent me a photograph of that. He sent me a photograph of this hole. The green is basically it's like almost like a full island in a lake. And it looks like it's really far away. And the green looks really small, but it's really big. There must be thousands of balls in that lake. Oh, any tips for drilling into tile? Yeah, all you need is a carbide tip drill bit. So carbide tip, it would help if it's sharp, like a brand new one. And you want to start slow. First of all, do not use a hammer drill. No hammer drill. Just drill with just a regular drill, going slow, and it should cut right into it. They also make, if you need to make a big hole, they're pretty inexpensive. You can buy these diamond tipped hole saws. They're really actually pretty inexpensive. So if you need to cut a hole, I don't know, like as big as a quarter. I don't know, Steve, I don't know what you have in the UK. What is equal to $0.25? I don't have one handy. I'll just do it in millimeters. So if you like a 20 millimeter hole, easy, 30 millimeter, 40 millimeter, you can drill those holes. All those hole saws come in those sizes. Just look on Amazon for ceramic tile hole saws. You'll see it. There you go. 13,000 balls. 13,000. I believe it. 13,000. That's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. 13,000 balls. Oh my gosh. Actually, when you think about that, so Will, you would know that'd be an interesting computation to do this weekend, because you would know. Well, I mean, I know this. I know that on a good golf course, what do they start golfers apart? 8 minutes. You know, there's like 8-minute tee times. So if you're on a busy day and you average a 3 on a hole, you know, in a group, you can do the math of how many holes, how many people a day are hitting balls in that lake. I mean, it's a lot. So 10 minutes. So there you go, 10 minutes. So that means 6 groups per hour, 8 hours, 48 groups, 48 times. Let's just average 3 golfers. Is it safe to say 3 golfers in a group, just average, because you got a twosome versus a foursome? Okay, yeah, 1 pence, 2. Yeah. No quarters. I know. I knew you were going to do that to me. I knew you were going to do that. So anyway, so what did I say? So 6 times 8. I know summer you got more hours, but let's just say 8 to be on average. So that's 6 times 8 is where am I? 10 minutes. 6 groups and 3 per group. 18 per 6 groups. 18 per hour times 8 is 80, 164. So 100, so 150. So you could have 150 balls a day going into the lake. Minimum 150 balls a day. Actually more, because some people, if they're playing by the rules, it's stroke plus distance, right? All right. So if you're going to play by the rules, you're going to tee it up again, man. Better get it there. Yes. Not always back to back. I know. So I'm just saying, I'll bet you on the low side, 100 balls a day are going in the lake. All right. So, all right. So anyway, hour and a half almost. Well, I'd say we get out of here. I had a blast. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll calm down about. I'll have hopefully some really interesting news on Monday after I talk to that attorney about the stain solver deal. I'll share all that. You know, there's no secrets. And Steve, if this weekend, if you're off or whatever, you can email me. Let's try to pin down a day. If you've got your schedule, if you have your schedule out far enough, let's pin down a day and let's pull the trigger on it. And we can substitute a Zoom call for this live stream. I don't care. In other words, if we want to do a live stream at 4 p.m. and not do a live stream, I'm good with that. So, and if you're watching right now and you want to get on the Zoom call, you need to go to askthebuilder.com, go to the Ask Tim page. You need to fill out your name, your email address, and you need to put in the comment area, hey, Tim, I'm a live streamer guy. I want to be in on the Zoom call. You need to tell me what the heck's going on. Yeah, I know exactly. I knew you have a drop zone. I know that. Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you want to play by the flipping rules, I mean, PGA, if Tiger Woods was there, Phil Mickelson, if they hit it in the water off the tee, I think they got to tee another one up. If they go to the drop zone, I don't know the rules that well. That might be a penalty shot. I don't know. You know, I don't know, but I'm just saying most people aren't going to play by the rules up there. All right, I'm out of here. Steve, you have a great weekend. Will, Lorene, we had a lot of new people here today too. My gosh. Will, Lorene, we got Mr. Ryan, Das, you were here. We had N89, I think it was. I'm trying to find it. So many comments. Anyway, so thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with me. I'm sorry it took me an hour to get to the ice dam. Most people watching it afterwards are going to give up on it. Oh, well, sorry about that. Yeah, Jason, I'll be here, buddy. I'll be here on Monday for sure. Yes, Das, that's German. I remember that. Das Boot, you know, the boat. Der die Das, masculine, feminine, and neutral, I guess. But that's about all the German I know, just so you know. Took 2 years of it. I sucked at it. Luckily, I was taught by a grad student who knew first day of class, he said, how many people are here because they have to be? And just about everybody raised their hand. He said, don't worry, you're going to pass. He got it. He understood. Okay. In fact, that's a really great story. Wait, don't go yet. If you're still there, you have got to. I got to find something for you. I've got to find this page, and you got to read this story. You got to read the story. Oh yeah, you got it. You have got. This is a true flipping story about one of my best college professors. I wrote this in tribute to this man. You have got to read this story. You've got to read this story. I hope you're still here. Yeah, we got quite a few people here. You have got to read. And then after you read that in the search engine, type this. If you really want to really read a good story, type this in the search engine. Read about Dr. Alexander. But boy, two amazing college professors. They would never be able to get away with this today. I'm out of here. Go read about Dr. Castor. Go read about Dr. Alexander, and it'll really, and share it with your kids if you want to. It's just fantastic stories. Thanks so much. I had a great time today. It felt like 10 minutes to me. Lorene, you have a great weekend too. And everyone else, Will, Steve, Jason, anyone else who, if I forget your name, I apologize. Shannon was not here today, but thanks so much for being here. You make it all possible. You're the reason I'm here. And I had a great time. It was a very relaxed day today. Sorry I was riled up at the beginning. Yeah, easy. Thank God for propane is all I can say. I'm out of here. I'm Tim Carter. It's been the Ask the Builder live stream, and I should be here on Monday, but I've got a busy weekend. All right. Thanks for being here. Bye.